Hello, everyone, and welcome to this next episode of Behind the Curtain, where we look at some behind the scenes hijinks and craziness for the feature film The Good People of Orphan Ridge. I am honored to be talking with Corinne Lothers, who was a producer with me on the project, and Lindsey, who was the first assistant director on the project. So thank you all for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So I feel like people might know what a producer is, and like Corinne and I, what our job was to basically make the project happen, to all the nuts and bolts and contracts and locations and all that stuff. And so that was our job, like overseeing the whole project. Lindsey, can you tell us what a first assistant director does, or a first AD as it's referred to on set?
You are the mastermind of making sure it all gets done fluently, correctly, and on time.
Yeah, that's huge. On time's especially huge because, we schedule it as far as like it was me and Corinne and Lindsey and Hazel and Victory, and was Victoria in the room? Was it all five? Was that the group? Yeah. So it's all of us in a room. We're like, we got this giant feature to tackle, and we do this whole schedule. And then Lindsey on set as the first AD. It was basically your job to like, all right, we came up with this in a room. Now you've got to actually make sure it runs on time. And so Lindsey's in charge of the actual day-to-day of the set, as well as keeping things on time. And she did an amazing job. It was nice as a producer because obviously there's a lot on the front end we did. And Corinne, you did probably more than I did actually on set. But what I got to do as a producer is I just got to go around and like give people candy and pizzas and like just like, hey, you look like you need some motivation. So I got to just give gifts. And if there was a problem, I went to Lindsey, like, Lindsey, are we on time? You need to be the bad person and you need to make sure people are on time. Lindsey's like, I got it. So it was great. I got to play Santa Claus on set. It was a lot of fun.
I got to be the bad guy. It was fun.
So when Matt Fisher, the writer and director, approached me about doing this project, I don't know if I've even told y'all this. Like, I had the conversation with him. I was like, okay, I think I see a way we can do it, but there's two people I got to talk to like make sure that like I want to move ahead with this. And it was Corinne and Lindsey. It was you two, because I was like, I know I can hand off so much of the day-to-day responsibility, and that you all will get it done, and you'll do a really good job, and you'll do so much more than just be students. Because at the time, y'all, that's kind of how I knew you, professor, student, but I knew you could be more than that. Corinne, when I approached you, you'd done short films, you'd produced short films, you'd actually done everything, feels like, with short films. How did you feel approaching a feature?
I mean, I was extremely excited. I think we always have heard this, like, maybe this is going to happen for like months, and then COVID hit. So we were like, well, that probably won't happen. And then I remember it was like the day I had an exam that day. It was like the day I was supposed to leave. And you're like, we're going to try to do it next semester. And I was like, I was just so excited. And you were like warning us, like, this might not happen because of COVID. There's all these problems. Like, it might not. But I remember I was like, we're going to do it. We're going to finish it. We're going to make it happen no matter what. And I just had this faith that like it's going to happen, like it's going to be made. And of course we knew there was going to be challenges, but I was just floored. I was just so excited.
So the production lasted, we basically shot the last weekend of each month for the spring, was it 2021? Yeah, semester. And then we shot 6 days over spring break. So we shot, I think, 15 days total. Lindsey, talk about some of the challenges that we ran into on set, or you ran into on set. I kind of came and went on set. I wasn't on set the entire time, but you were really kind of there for all of it.
Yeah, the one time that I had problems with, well, not really problems with, but ran into a kind of conundrum is when we shot the concert scene, like one of the first scenes, and we had a lot of challenges that day. We just had lightning strike near campus, and so half of the electricity on half of the campus just went out. This is the last hour or hour and a half of filming for that night, and we just have like a couple more shots to do, and we just the alarms are going off. The fire alarm went off because the electricity went off. The fire department showed up. We had to evacuate everyone. Oh my God. So it was just a fun night. Everything was fine. And so we just had to communicate with everyone what was going on. We're allowed to be here. This has happened. And they're like, oh yeah, you're good to be here. Like, let's just see what we can do. And I know Beecher came to me and they were like, okay, are we going to keep going, or like, do you want to call it? And I was like, this is where it hit me as an AD. I was like, I'm really calling the shots here. It's like, it's either we're doing it or we have do another day where we have to feed and cost more money and get more people out, or we have a second lunch, which costs more money. And I was like, no, like, we can get this done. And we got it done, surprisingly.
Corinne, was it you that called me about the fire truck
Yeah.
getting there? Okay.
It was my first weekend as on set because I wasn't there the first weekend, but that one was the first night. I remember just calling you. I was like, it was raining, and everyone was like yelling. The alarm was going off, and everyone's like, "I smell smoke!" And I was just talking to you, going through everything, and you were like, "Should I come over?" I'm like, "I don't know, I don't know." And then you're like, "I think I'm gonna come over. You sound like you're losing it." And I'm like, I can handle it. I can handle it." But thankfully, you came over, and it was all fine. But it was just like
I,
crazy.
I I had been on set and I actually had gone home and I was
Yeah.
hanging out with my wife, and she's a producer. She knows she's not a producer on this, but she's produced other things. And so what we always say is, like, when you're a good producer, your only real job is to put out fires on a set. You're not doing the day to day. And so I got your call, and April, my wife, was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, I might be going to literally put out a fire. Like,
Yeah.
there's a fire truck, there's smoke. Okay, that's what a producer
Yeah.
does. I put out fires. Here I go.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was definitely a memorable, fun night. But we got it all, and so that was yeah, my favorite stretch that we shot was those 6 days over spring break, because I feel like we all could really get in a rhythm, as opposed to like come in and we just like crazy 3 days and then take a break for a month. We got in a rhythm, got to hang out. I feel like it was just like a great bonding experience. And all of us, of course, were like, me as a professor, I get spring break off. Y'all get spring break off. We're all like giving up this time that's supposed to be on vacation for schoolwork, but it was this production. Corinne, tell us the most annoying thing you had to do over that spring break shoot.
So a big part, like a really pivotal part of the film, there's like a stunt work where we have like a social effects type of thing where we have one of our characters have like contacts and supposed to do this kind of basically split, have glitter come out of him. So I was tasked to clean up the glitter afterwards after he, split it through everywhere, and it was absolutely everywhere. It was in the bathroom to the carpeting, and so I was, while everyone else was filming, I was scrubbing down trying to get every glitter out of every tile, every carpeting crevice. I mean, I was vacuuming for like, I think at least 2 hours after set to just try to get everything out and all the glitter everywhere. And oh yeah, that was it. It was kind of therapeutic, but it was definitely kind of very annoying. But
And that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing really with all of us. It was like, okay, we have our jobs. I mean, you're a producer, you have a very important job, you're overseeing so much. But then occasionally it's like, well, we don't really have anyone on set that cleans up glitter, and I don't really trust anybody to do it well. Okay. I mean, I helped a little bit, but I was off, I think, getting tzatziki's, which was like, we got so much tzatziki's on set, y'all. Lindsey always took home the tzatziki sauce. But yeah, I showed back up after getting the food, and Corinne, you look kind of stressed. It's like, what's wrong? And you're like, glitter. There's glitter like a lot of places. Because yeah, I was so proud. I'm so glad we went with the practical effects over the CGI special effects, because that can really halt a production and you don't really know what it's going to look like. I think it turned out cool. It's like a very small but cool moment. But if I am ever on a set where we do glitter again, we are going to like quarantine that room with like, okay, you do not come out until we check every inch of you if there's any glitter in you, and we're just going to spend time cleaning that room. So now we know it won't happen again, but that was definitely a funny moment.
And I also remember, I think at that time I was dressed up as a banshee, I think that morning or something like that. So I remember I had like banshee makeup on. So
Yes,
like,
okay, just to explain, the
yes,
Banshee's a character. It's not Corinne, but in
it's
this
not me.
day, Corinne had to step in and dress as the Banshee for, actually, I'm not going to show it on here. I've shown these other two clips, but I'm not going to show this because it really is a great moment. But I'll just say the first moment, is it the only moment you're seen in the
Yeah, it's the
Banshee?
only one I'm seeing
Okay,
as the banshee.
the only moment Corinne is seen in the Banshee, costume is the one where my parents said that they jumped. It's where April, my wife, was like, oh, like everyone jumps the most at that moment. And it was Corinne's only moment. So you should feel pretty good about that.
Try and enjoy it. Yeah, it was very. I scared people on the set more than I think like Hazel was when she was doing it. Everyone was like freaked out by me more, and I was like, yes, it's my.
I also just have to say, I actually play the substitute. You play the backup Banshee. I play the backup Innkeeper. But my moment, you can hardly see me. Like you got to look. I'm like a cookie. Like you got to go and rewatch because you don't really see it.
Coffee filter face.
Yes,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And I didn't want to paint my face, and so instead of, because I was so far in the background, I had the antlers and the costume, and I just took a coffee filter and poked holes and then put it on my face. So yeah, filter face. That's gonna hopefully be our next horror film, filter face.
Please.
Oh, that's awesome. So let me ask this: it's now out on Amazon. It is being watched by people. People are reviewing it. I'm hearing all sorts of people like it. How does it feel? Lindsey, first, how does it feel that you have first AD'd a feature and it is out into the world and it will forever be out into the world and people are watching it and loving it?
So I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and mostly because I think this is the like real moment that all my family is like, oh, you're for real about this. Because like all in college is like all short films and all just projects. And I'm like, the projects are like, oh, okay, another school project. And even when I told them I was doing this feature film for a school, they were still like, oh, okay, like it's cool, it's a feature. And then half the time they're like, okay, what's a feature? And I'm like, oh, guys. But like now, like showing them and them appreciating that, like, oh, like you actually like pulled this off, like y'all did a huge thing, and I'm like, yeah, we did. And so I'm so grateful, and then it's just empowering a little bit.
That's awesome. Corinne, how's it feel?
Oh, so good. I mean, honestly, Good People is probably one of the biggest blessings in my life. I could say that because I got to work with such amazing people who are close friends with me, and also seeing also close friends who are acting it, so I can see them act and perform, and they do such a great job. So I'm so grateful that it's out and that people can see it and all of our hard work, because it just feels such a special film, and I think it brings across so much love and fun and excitement, and I think that I'm just very proud of it. So I'm very excited for people to see it.
Yeah, I agree with all those sentiments. I think it's a great project in a way because very few people were showing up to set. I mean, very few, and it was just a couple actors were showing up to set where we already didn't know them. Like we were we knew each other as people before we knew each other as like crewmates, and so it was like a family. It was a blast. It was definitely the highlight of my professor career. I mean, hands down. And I would work on any film with either of you in a heartbeat, and so I guarantee that this was not the last time we worked together on something. But yeah, thank you so much for talking to me. If you're watching this, please go right now to Amazon Prime Video and watch The Good People of Orphan Ridge, rate it, give a review, and then follow us on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook for more updates on where we're streaming. Thank you for watching.